President Trump's latest move to impose sweeping tariffs on over 180 countries and territories has sent shockwaves through global markets, and the impact is already hitting home. While the former president proudly proclaimed April 2nd as America's Liberation Day, the only thing many Americans feel liberated from is their retirement savings. In just 2 days following the announcement, more than $6 trillion in stock market value vanished. That's not economic strategy. That's economic whiplash. And while Trump positions these tariffs as bold moves to protect American industry, the consequences are stacking up quickly and not in our favor. Since the announcement, over 75 nations have come forward, expressing a willingness to renegotiate tariffs if the U.S. is willing to back down. The ball is now in Trump's court, but the clock is ticking. If a course correction doesn't happen soon, these tariffs could end up isolating the United States on the global stage. Our longtime allies, feeling the sting of these economic penalties, may begin to forge closer ties with adversaries like China and Russia. Let's be clear, while Trump touts these moves as reclaiming control, the real beneficiaries could be the very nations we aim to outcompete. There is an argument to be made for targeted tariffs, especially when it comes to reducing reliance on Chinese manufacturing. A smart, focused strategy could help boost American industry and create jobs. But that's not what we're seeing here. Instead, these tariffs are sweeping and indiscriminate. Countries like Vietnam, which have served as alternative manufacturing hubs to avoid overdependence on China, are being hit just as hard. That's self-defeating. When we drive up the cost of Vietnamese goods, we're not just punishing an ally, we're pushing businesses right back into China's arms. And China is watching closely. President Xi Jinping has already signaled interest in strengthening ties with nations like Vietnam, especially now that America seems to be burning its bridges. What's worse, this aggressive trade strategy is undermining years of work to diversify global supply chains. We encouraged companies to move operations out of China, and now we're punishing them for doing exactly that. If Vietnamese exports become too expensive, those companies will go where it's cheaper, and that likely means back to China or even into Russian-backed territories. This isn't just about economics. It's about global trust, influence, and leadership. Trump's erratic approach to trade policy is shaking the foundation of America's role as a global economic leader. Allies are questioning our reliability. Trading partners are eyeing alternatives. Even fears that the U.S. dollar could lose its status as the world's reserve currency, once considered far-fetched, are gaining traction. Reversing this damage won't be easy, and the longer we wait, the harder it becomes. At the core of the issue is confusion within Trump's own circle. Some claim the tariffs are meant to create jobs. Others, like Elon Musk, suggest it's all part of a negotiating strategy to force better trade deals. But when your own camp can't agree on the endgame, the message to the rest of the world is chaos. Europe has already hinted at retaliatory tariffs, preparing to defend their own interests against what they see as America's self-imposed trade war. Trump still has a chance to avoid long-term fallout, but the off-ramp is rapidly disappearing. If these tariffs aren't reevaluated soon, the damage could be irreversible. Global trust is hard to win and easy to lose. For the sake of America's economic future and its role on the world stage, let's hope that Liberation Day doesn't become the day we liberated ourselves from common sense.